Hi, my name is Thais Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I want to talk to you about the question I hear a lot, which is, do or can dismissive avoidants feel disconnected in their romantic relationships? So, in this video, I will tell you a little bit about the answer to this question, and then we'll talk a little bit about what to do around some of the different dynamics that you'll hear come out of this. And before I dive into that, we are beginning our 90-day challenge, round two. Round one, for everybody who completed all the tasks that we set out in full for the 90-day challenge, we had 96 of participants report that they had their attachment style from like where they were become significantly more secure within that 90-day period. So that was very exciting. Now, there's a big commitment, like in terms of time, not a huge commitment. There's like, you have to basically complete like 6 hours of coursework throughout the month, and then all the exercises that go with that, and then join 2 live webinars per week. So there's also a money back guarantee. If you go in, you're not like over the moon with the whole content and experience, but it's amazing in there. Like, we have the best people, the most loving, supportive people. Everybody's super kind, respectful, looks out for each other. And it's a really fun learning community. Like, we do all these Zoom live calls over video now, and we have social events and all kinds of stuff going on. Anyways, I will focus on the video. So, can dismissive avoidants feel disconnected in a romantic relationship? The answer is yes. And this is something I've actually seen quite often, probably a lot more often than most people would suspect. Now, the reason for this is that generally a dismissive avoidant will feel disconnected less quickly than a fearful avoidant, leaning anxious, a fearful avoidant in general, or an anxious preoccupied attachment style would. But it doesn't mean they don't feel that way from time to time. And disconnection really is the result of us feeling like our needs are not met from our partners, feeling like we've made up some kind of narrative that puts a barrier between ourselves and another person. So, for example, somebody not calling back and our mind going, oh, they don't care about me at all, or I am unloved. And then obviously, the more we focus on that narrative or the interpretation of the event that's ours, the more that can create, sort of these invisible walls between ourselves and others. When maybe the person didn't call back because they were feeling depressed that day and really down and didn't have the emotional bandwidth to show up. Like, there can be so many different reasons for things happening, but the more we like just make assumptions about things and then define our emotional state and relationships by those assumptions, obviously that can be very detrimental, but it can also really make us feel disconnected from the person we love. So for dismissive avoidance as well, when they feel threatened, they feel disconnected. They feel very like on their own, like their needs aren't going to get met. They don't know if they're going to be okay. And so those types of feelings can also create a whole bunch of disconnection in their romantic relationships. And so it's really important to recognize if a dismissive avoidant is feeling disconnected. It can usually occur in a few key ways. Number one, if somebody's deactivating from them. So, for example, a fearful avoidant. If somebody is being critical or harsh with their words, if they feel misunderstood, unseen, or unheard by their partner, all of those will be sources of feeling disconnected. And then obviously things like if the partner is away or on a trip or has to go away for work or things like that, they can also still feel a sense of disconnection. And they'll also feel this way when their partner's needs are different from theirs and the partner is meeting needs through the way that they would want their needs to be met. So, for example, dismissive avoidants often really value words of affirmation and acts of service as love languages. And let's say they're dating somebody who's fearful avoidant, who has a tendency to value physical touch and quality time as love languages. Well, the fearful avoidant can be giving tons of love through physical touch and quality time, but when we project from our perception, when we give to others what we need instead of what they need and try to understand that, it can also create a barrier to connection that really flies under the radar. And so often this will happen with a dismissive avoidant, and often what they're really looking for is to be affirmed, to be told that they are cared for or loved or supported or shown supportive actions through words of affirmation. And so whenever any of these things isn't taking place, yes, the dismissive avoidant can feel disconnected. What keeps that hidden is how they respond to feeling disconnected. So what then happens a lot of the time is the dismissive avoidant, when they feel disconnected, turns around and withdraws, right? To protect themselves. Disconnection can make them feel hurt. And then they feel hurt in association to their relationship. And then they subconsciously perceive that the relationship is the source of the hurt, not the disconnection in the dynamic being the source of the hurt. And then they basically associated the person and the relationship with negative feelings, and the brain is wired to avoid pain. And we know when DAs cope, they cope by withdrawing into themselves. And so oftentimes people or partners of dismissive avoidance won't think somebody's feeling disconnected, won't realize their partner is feeling that way, will even doubt it or think, no, it's not possible, when in fact it is happening a lot of the time. But it's not being vulnerably communicated, or it's not being brought to the surface, or it's not being demonstrated through actions, because the actions and behaviors are things that cause the DA to further withdraw, as opposed to go and vulnerably communicate and reconnect. So those are important things to recognize. Also, if you are the DA, it's important to have a conversation with your partner when you're feeling that way, by explicitly defining what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and what you need to feel a sense of reconnection in the relationship. And that's a very important step for you to take as a DA, to become more secure and open up vulnerably. And it's a perfect exposure technique to help you get closer and get more comfortable outside of your comfort zone in that vulnerability as well. So very important topic. Hope this makes a lot of sense. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're getting a lot of value out of this channel, and I will see you in the next video.